Hi, Blind Guy Garage. So I've had a few people, especially like in person and stuff, they've told me um, they wanted to know more about how this came together and why, all that kind of stuff. So I scrap a lot, and I get, it's obvious that I have a lot of junk, and it offends me when people call my stuff junk, because some of it is and some of it's not, but don't hurt my feelings. I'm just kidding. I know it's junk. So I turned some junk into some better junk, I guess. This axle had been modified. Somebody put this C channel and stuff on here. I don't know what they were trying to do or what they had done. Maybe it was bent and they were making it not bent. I don't understand what they were doing, because I got the axle, just the axle, with all this stuff on it. And I was like, well, I might use it for something, make a trailer to stay in the yard with or something like that, because it's got 5 on 5.5 lug pattern wheels, or lug pattern, and I can't remember if I had to buy lug studs for it or bolts. What do we got? Oh, lug studs or bolts, I mean. So I had to do that. I think it might be a cut down mobile home axle, and they did all that because they were scared they'd tear something up. But anyhow, and then I had this engine hoist that it wasn't tall enough for anything. You couldn't really do anything with it. It was junk, because it was nice and the cylinder was bad, and it had long legs sticking out, and it sat really low to the ground, so it was purposely built to be super low, and I'm not 100% sure why. If somebody in the comments, if you guys comment, I like reading the comments. But it just was too short to do anything with. So I was like, I'll probably use it one day. And then, so the two things came to my mind. I lost a bunch of sleep until I actually put them together. So what I did is I set this on top of that and kind of see where the balance point was. And then I was like, hey, I think this is about it. And so then I cut the legs off, because I had it farther back and realized that it took so much reach away that it wasn't practical anymore. So I still had to get, if you'll notice, we got the axle center line, and then the support and all is behind axle center line. So most of your weight stays, even with no counterweight up here. The tongue will stay down. And so like with 225, 230 pounds of person up here, you can literally pick up over 1,000 pounds out here. So that's plenty of weight if you have a lawnmower on it. There, you've hooked this to a little MTD or something, and you still want to pick up a huge amount of weight. But you do have to shorten the boom arm up. But I built it because I have an 8-inch tractor and a boom pole and a 6-foot boom pole, and that thing just won't pick nothing up. And I've tried a few, and it just don't pick up what I need to pick up most of the time, and it won't go high enough. This thing will stand almost straight up. And so all said and done, it just, the first iteration, or the first version, I broke it, and I welded some angle iron in right there and stretched it because it was too short. See, the tongue is from there, what's that, about a foot longer. And then that angle iron already had pieces on it, and I was like, hey, I could put my weights on it if I do that. And then, we're bowing right here in the middle. So I was like, hey, you can put a rebar right there. And we welded that in, and now that, because I was always having to use ratchet straps to support it, and I used them to the point of this, And I mean, if we're putting that much pressure on something to keep it from bending, we might as well go ahead and make it right-ish. I still, one day, I think it would be useful to have a piece of angle iron come down and go to there on both sides, and then you could use that as a mounting point and maybe cut this off. But as of right now, it was a quick get her done situation. I I've done so much with this thing. It's probably one of the best tools I ever created or come up with. But it'll pick up over 1,000 pounds with the boom arm all the way out, but well over 1,000 pounds. I don't know where we're at when the boom arm's in, and then I want to do another hole farther up here to go even higher, because we've got another video where it's picking up that old green Dodge, and it almost gets the back tires off the ground. It gets to where it doesn't fully support the weight of the rear end yet before it popped that's top weld up here. And we Dillweed Fab, he was over here and he got it welded back up with some pretty crappy rods, and he did all right. And then we decided to weld a hitch on there, so now it can pull a loaded trailer. Doesn't matter how heavy the trailer is, as long as it can get to that hitch, we're good. I mean, we have some seriously heavy duty bearings and stuff in that axle. Never going to worry about the tongue weight being high enough to hurt that. And what's really cool is, let's say you got to go to a loaded trailer, instead of crank, this is a little faster. You hook this to the trailer, pick it up, swing it over onto the ball, let her down, because you can reach everything with one hand here and one hand there. I'm telling you, it freaking works. And I didn't think it was going to work that good until the other day. We were using it to get a junk trailer, a trailer with a bunch of junk in it, moved so that we could get it to haul it to the dump. And man, this thing worked great. Did not expect it to be that easy. I've loaded full, complete four-wheelers in the beds of pickup trucks just straight up and back the truck under it. I've learned that being legally blind, it's probably better if the person backs the truck under the load instead of me trying to drive the load onto the truck, because it's been a few close calls. But so that's the reasoning behind the thing, and it's just keeps getting more expansion. So like we got a little, that's why I say it's evolving, because it's evolving into its snowballing situation. But we've got a ammo can to hold a chain, and it's just an addition to that machine that it makes the whole system a whole lot easier and a whole lot nicer. With using a zero turn, and you can put this thing, even though the whole setup is really long, you can put this thing in a really tight spot and do some major work. But if you have any more questions, please ask and comment in the comments below for sure. And if you have an idea for a project that's something like this, don't wear yourself out thinking about it, trying to plan every little detail and all that stuff. Make it so that you can change it if you need to. So like I said, this evolved into that. That's why I say that these things evolve. You set yourself up where you can evolve, and then so you start with a basic principle and then expand on that. So it works great. Like, share, and subscribe, which y'all know that. I'd say it because they all say it, but I guess I really want other legally blind and visually impaired and people with impairment to get involved in my channel and stuff like that. So that's what I'm really talking about when I say like, share, and subscribe. But you guys stay blessed, and comment below. I'd like to hear about some of your projects and stuff that y'all have built and all kinds of stuff. If y'all have any questions about, do you think this will work or that'll work or what I need, let me know. Thank you guys. Stay blessed.